Too much productivity. Is it even possible? Every one of us has a sweet spot, a range where we feel comfortable and operate at our best. We have a sweet spot for temperature, a sweet spot for how many hours of sleep we need, a sweet spot for how much we should exercise in order to reach our goals. The problem is that this sweet spot isn't always easy to find, and the same thing applies to your task list. Your task list also has a sweet spot, a point where you're productive without feeling overwhelmed. And just like exercise, finding it often takes some trial and error. Let's start with the lower end. Imagine starting your day with very few tasks, maybe 5 to 10. For most people, this usually means one of two things. First, you might not be offloading everything into a trusted system outside your brain, like David Allen suggests in Getting Things Done. Some tasks are still floating around in your head. Second, it might mean that someone else or something else ends up deciding how you spend the rest of your free time. Now, an important caveat: if you genuinely feel calm, focused, and happy operating like this, don't try to change it. That's rare, and honestly, it's amazing. But for most productivity-minded people, the real struggle is on the other end of the spectrum. Too many tasks. If you start every day with a massive task list, you're probably experiencing decision fatigue before you even begin. Every task you see is another decision, and when there are too many options, your brain gets tired fast. Just seeing a long list can create stress. Stress makes you tired, and when you're tired, you complete fewer tasks. That's how a vicious cycle starts, one that many of us fall into every once in a while, especially productivity seekers. Sometimes this shows up as having many long-term cognitive tasks. You tell yourself, I'll move each one forward for just 10 minutes a day. You don't want to give any of them up, so you keep all of them active at the same time. That feels productive. But as Cal Newport explains in Slow Productivity, this is often an illusion. Because of attention residue, each task stays mentally active even after those 10 minutes are over. And since your focus is spread across many tasks, each one ends up taking far more days to complete than you originally expected. They linger on your task list. They compete for your attention, and together they drain your focus. In many cases, it's more effective to give most of your time to just a few tasks. Spending longer, uninterrupted stretches on the same task creates momentum toward finishing that specific task. That momentum reduces mental friction, makes progress feel easier, and shortens the overall time it takes to get things done. There's another side effect of having too many tasks on your list. You become reluctant to add new ones, not because they're unimportant, but because your list already feels heavy. And instead of writing new tasks down, you keep them in your head. That's where the real pressure comes from. Uncaptured tasks occupy mental space, create anxiety, and constantly remind you that there's something else you should be doing, even if you can't act on it right now. So what should you do? Every once in a while, step back and examine your task list. See where it stands, and ask yourself whether it's drifted too far in one direction. If you wake up one day, look at your list, and genuinely don't know where to start, that's your signal. That's your cue to postpone. Push unnecessary tasks back by a week or more. Trim your list until it reaches a size you feel relatively comfortable with. Only then start executing. One simple way to do this is to create what I call a pause basket. Take a moment and move into it. Tasks that don't need your attention right now. For example, a recurring task you can safely skip for a couple of weeks. A task with an unclear finish line. A large task where pausing progress won't cause problems, or something you simply can't act on yet, or that isn't important right now. Once you've done that, set a reminder in your calendar to review this basket in 2 weeks. Until then, those tasks are off your list and off your mind. With a lighter task list, you'll move faster. With sustained focus, you'll build momentum. And by doing less at once, you'll often end up getting more done.